What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Friday. Hope to see you live tonight for Fan Friday. But first, we've got ourselves some top matchups. Now, it was supposed to be the top 10, but this team is stacked, the Buccaneers, with talent. And I really just wanted to touch on everything here. So it's not just the top 10. You've actually got 13 I'm going to throw at you here. So just keep that in mind here. But I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time. Obviously, this is not live, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this one, your favorite matchup, what you're going to be looking for, all that stuff. But we'll get into the top 10 in a second. First, I want to show you, and we'll do this for every show now that, we've had a couple games. I'll keep you up to date with how both teams are doing. So without further ado, let's jump right into this bad boy. We're going to take a gander here at how both teams have been doing so far this season. So we'll start it off with the Eagles. And, obviously the offense been sputtering a little bit, having times where, clearly the media and fans trying to make something of, new coordinators not understanding that, this is not Madden. You can't just be perfect right away. They're going to figure out their identity, do their thing. But the fact is this team is loaded on offense. We can get you in the air, on the ground, whatever it needs to be. But you see, we're fifth in points scored. So 29.5 there. You've got total yardage, 11th. Now, passing, you've seen, Hurts, this, that, the other thing. Look, if you can win running the ball, that's what you do. That's what we did last week, what we did week 1. So he doesn't necessarily have to throw the ball. You heard what Jalen Hurts had to say. Winning is the most important thing, and that is something we have done. 2-0, let's effing go. Now, rushing, 178 per game, second in the league. Sacks per game, though, ooh, don't like that. So running the ball is the reason, we're finding success. Obviously, last year we struggled against the pass rush. Again this year, give up 3.5 per game. Ooh, 7 sacks so far given up. Not good. You see that's tied for 22nd. Interceptions thrown, tied for 9. All this stuff you got to take with a grain of salt throughout the whole season, but definitely with only 2-game sample size. Got to keep in mind which teams they're playing, all that stuff here. We took on the Patriots and Vikings here. So, look, 2 very tough defenses, but on our defensive side of the ball, you could see that we had some struggles there. 16th in points allowed there, 26th in total yardage, 31st against the pass, and then you see first against the run. So, these numbers are skewed due to the fact that, you have to understand the context of them. The Eagles, when they go up on teams, they have to throw the ball. So you heard, all of the media and fans last couple of years hating this defense, hated being number 1 against the pass, being number 1 in sacks. But now they hate that we're not number 1. And it's the flip side. We struggled against the run last year. This year we've been dominating. So some injuries have definitely happened. And, Bradbury, Blankenship, now we're losing Maddox. And all of these things have to be taken into consideration here. But, again, this team is going to get things figured out. Sean Desai will get these guys. But it's another bend, don't break defense. A lot of people, hate this style. But you can see right now it's not really, the numbers are skewed. You're not number 1 in the league again. Obviously, you've had your struggles. But for me, it'll be just fine. It'll work itself out. Bend, don't break works for me. They don't want to get beat over the top. And look, man, people can hate it all they want, but being the best at something is a good thing. So I want to get back to that like we were the last couple of years. Let's effing go Birds. But you see, not getting sacks. Obviously, Reddick with that messed up thumb. Need to get that going, get some pressure in there. Going against some quarterbacks to get the ball out quick, have good offensive lines. Obviously, the Vikings didn't really, but Cousins was getting the ball out, doing his thing. We got to figure that out. We'll be just fine there. Then you see, half an interception. We got 1 interception that was Slay's pick 6, which was truly beautiful. You see, though, getting some fumble recoveries, man. We got 5 so far in 2 games, so love that. And then you see that makes us tied for second there in turnovers per game. So the defense getting the ball, but let's continue doing that. And look, you've got a team that has been actually taking care of the ball coming up here in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Baker Mayfield surprising a lot of people. Look, the competition hasn't been exactly the greatest there for the Buccaneers, but hey, not going to knock him for doing a great job. But they're middle of the pack in points, 13th in yardage, 9th in passing, 19th in rushing. Tied for second in sacks given up there, only a half sack per game, and then no turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. So truly beautiful to see that, playing perfect football. But it's time for the Eagles to go get an interception, go get a forced fumble. I think we're going to get a couple turnovers, a few sacks here, and make those numbers jump up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do not care what the numbers say. Now, the defensive side of the ball, they are loaded, which you're about to see here shortly. But you can see, top 10 in points and total yardage. They've struggled against the pass. You heard me the other day say this is a Jalen Hurts game, time for him to go off, have himself a day over 300 yards, a couple touchdowns. That's what I'm all about. And I see that happening this Monday. Now, rushing the ball, they are right behind us. Second place here at 54. We were at 52 yards per game. So, look, you saw how well Swift did. I don't care what the numbers say. You keep using him. Kenny Gainwell back in the fold. Look, you need to use more Swift than Gainwell, but you're going to use both of them. Let's see these guys dominate here. Don't care. But you've got a monster in the middle there for the Bucs who we will be talking about. Now, sacks per game, they've got 8 on the season so far. 4 per game, tied for 5th there. Interceptions, tied for 3rd. Fumble recoveries, tied for 5th. And then 2.5 turnovers per game has them tied for 4th. So this defense is making plays. Another tough defense. You got Todd Bowles here. We keep taking on these teams that I don't know if other people haven't been paying attention to what's going on, but these are some good coaches here that have their teams in position to fight. So it's the NFL. That's what's going to happen. But let's take a look at that top 10 now. Well, top 13, as I told you. At first, it was an honorable mention. Then I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to leave out this. And I was like, all right, let's just go make it a 13. So let's jump right into this bad boy. Love to hear your thoughts as we go through this. But we're starting it off. Number 13 here, Braden Mann. Okay, so we finally got someone other than Aaron Sipos. That's the excitement. But let's actually make sure this dude is good. So Devin Tompkins back there as the returner. Look, he is nothing special, hasn't done anything crazy so far this season. But if he does, that is an issue. Let's not shank any punts. Let's get the direction where it needs to go, the hang time it needs. Braden Mann, obviously, we're going to need you to hold well also, but just need to see a good punting game so that their return game has nothing. So that is number 13. I had to throw that one on there. Now let's get through this. Number 12, Rashad White. This kid, I like his talent. We talk about his pass catching ability. So far, he has 112 yards, but only 3.3 yards per carry and a touchdown, and only 2 catches for 7 yards. So they have not gotten him involved here. And you see Zach Cunningham. He's our middle linebacker, the guy that, I thought would take over. Then you have Morrow come in. He takes over middle linebacker. And something I've tried to explain this offseason is there's no real middle linebacker. They're inside linebackers. Cunningham and Morrow, they're both going to have different things that they need to do. One thing Cunningham does is tackle. He's not the greatest in coverage. He did good last week, but right now he is tied for first with Reed Blankenship in tackles with 12 there, which is crazy because Reed didn't even play. So Zach Cunningham, keep doing your thing. Shut this young man down. I'm sure you'll see Morrow and some other people having, to watch White there, but I thought that this was a good matchup here. Continue to shut down that run game and make them one-dimensional. I know Baker Mayfield has done well this year, no turnovers, but I think this defense could really get after him. Now, if you're getting after him, shutting down that run game, he's going to try to get to his tight end here, Cade Otton. Now, he only has 8 catches for 60 yards, but saying only, that's more than Dallas Goedert has. So he's been doing decent, and he is a nice blanket for Baker Mayfield. We know the other talent he has on this team, but you got to watch this dude. And, our safeties and linebackers are going to be responsible there. But, 3rd and 4th in tackling, Evans and Edmonds, they've been all over. I'd love to see these guys helping out as veterans, waiting for Reed to come back, waiting for Sidney Brown to eventually come along. But for right now, I just put these two. Clearly, Reed is hopefully going to play this week. So I will be very, very excited there. But Justin Evans actually has a pass deflection, forced fumble recovery. So he's having himself a good time here. And when I see him continue to do that, shut down this tight end here. Now up next, talked about Baker Mayfield. Well, let's throw him up on the board at number 10 here. So now we're into the top 10 matchups. You saw the other ones there, but Nicholas Morrow wearing the green dot for the Eagles, the quarterback of this defense. And then you've got Baker Mayfield here. And, with Morrow being back, it was pretty cool. He gets signed to the active roster, and then all of a sudden he's just starting, and he is the guy wearing the green dot. We talked about it. He had the ability in case anything happened to Dean. Unfortunately, it did. Hopefully we get Dean back in week 6, but Morrow going to get the job done here with Cunningham as the linebackers. Let's effing go, baby. But Baker Mayfield having a good season, as I mentioned. No interceptions, only been sacked one time. He has 47 completions for 490 yards, 3 touchdowns, a 69.1 completion percentage. So he's doing pretty damn well. So Morrow, time to step it up, lead this defense to whooping this dude's ass. Now at number 9 here, look, we got to protect our quarterback. I know that's something, they're going to be trying to do here. And look, Joe Tryon, Shoryinka, whatever, and Shaq Barrett, they are quite a duo there. So Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata, we've talked about the Eagles' struggles, again, giving up 7 sacks so far this season. Do not like that. And it's not just on Lane and Mailata, but just saying, and not so much Lane where it is Mailata. So, but these outside guys, man, dealing with these edge rushers, going to be fun to watch. See if, each time we talk about that top pass rusher, will they have Shaq Barrett over on Lane Johnson, or will they allow him to take on the weaker of the two in Jordan Mailata? Weaker really isn't even a word for Jordan Mailata, but of the two is what I mean there. But going to be intriguing to see if we can shut those guys down. Need to do it. And the way they're creating that is inside, man. And right now, Kalijah Cansey, we talked about it. He only played like 10, 11 snaps in week 1. Then he was out in week 2. So he's banged up. We don't know if he's playing, but if you put him with Vita Vea and Logan Hall there, they have got themselves a pretty damn good interior line there. Kelsey, Dickerson, Juergens. Everybody's figuring things out with Juergens at right guard now, but still one of the best offensive lines, regardless of struggling against the pass. And, these guys, they've got interior dudes, just like the Eagles, with those odd fronts, they can get sacks. Vita Vea has 1.5 sack. He's got 2 tackles for a loss. Logan Hall has a half sack, a tackle for a loss. So these guys can get in the backfield there, and that's going to be a very big challenge for our guys in the middle there. So definitely looking forward to that heavyweight battle there. Now at number 7, run the damn ball. If you're out there, just I'm screaming it from the rooftops. So DeAndre Swift, as I was at that game, screaming my lungs out to run the ball, they'd start doing it. 28 carries, 175 yards. I had that touchdown, 6.2 yards per carry in that game. That is, love to see it, baby. So keep that up, keep pounding that rock. But they've got some pretty damn good linebackers there. One of them will be coming up here, but Levante David is the other. And he's got 10 tackles right now, like 5th on the team, 2 tackles for a loss. He's going to have to shut down these running backs. Gainwell will be back, but need to see less Gainwell, more Swift. And look, I know they like both of them. So do I. But Swift is showing you what he can do in this offense, and keep using him. Now at number 6, another weapon that could be used here has not been unleashed yet. He led the team last week, I believe, in receptions, but only had a few yards. So, look, but this is, people talk about this as if it's a problem, but it's like, look, man, this team is so good that, you can spread the ball around. You can win in a plethora of ways. And, you're going against some good defenses here last couple of weeks. So you gotta figure things out the way they work. And I think that, Dallas Goedert, as much, as he hasn't jumped off the stats, this dude is still a key part to this offense, and he's been blocking, doing his things, but I think it's time for him to catch that ball. Now, he's going to be going up against some damn good linebackers in White and David, but those safeties help out as well. And Antoine Winfield Jr. and Ryan Neal. And Ryan Neal leads the team in tackles with 14. And I think he's got a couple of pass breakups in there, 3 pass breakups and 11 tackles for Winfield. It is Ryan Neal who leads the team with 14. My apologies. Now, I think that, obviously, these guys, they're going to have to help out with Goddard. I think that he could definitely go over the top there, not just in the middle. So let's do some things with Dallas Goedert and watch him succeed. But he's got a tough matchup there with the linebackers and safeties of the Buccaneers there. So you just saw 8, obviously not top 10, top 13. But I'm going to jump into the top 5 now. Let me know how you're feeling about those top matchups. Who do you think is coming up in the top 5 here? Whatever's on your mind, love to hear it. But here we go. Number 5. And oh boy, we've got some big boys. So Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, eating souls and loving every damn second of it. You saw it, number 1 against the run there. This is something, we've been praying for here, baby. And we've got 2 monsters that are 3 that are going to, be the future of this team. Cox there to help see that through. And, the depth even, Street and Tua Pelotu, Ojomo in the wings. They got a lot of talent there. But you see, Hainsey had to take over on IR as Ryan Jensen for the Bucs. They drafted Cody Mauch, and then they added Filer in free agency. So this is an area I want to see the Eagles feast. Jordan Davis has 1.5 sacks. Jalen Carter has 1. Both of those guys have 2 tackles for a loss. And I've mentioned, they've only given up 1 sack here, the Buccaneers. But I really think that this interior is a weakness where we could attack because it's such a strength for us. So, look, man, this is going to be some battle of some heavyweights, and I would love to see these big boys shut down this run, allow the outside to get some pressure here, and that's your next matchup, actually. So, number 4, the exterior guys here. Look, Reddick, no sacks yet. We talk about Josh Sweat only having 1.5 sacks. That's really crappy that the Eagles have not gotten, sacks on the stat board. But guess what? I don't care as long as we're winning. But I do want to see the pass rush getting going here. So, Smith, we talked about it. You weren't going to see him the first few weeks. He's got a ways to go. He needs, obviously put on some muscle, some coaching. And everyone, who is in the know understood that and knew that. But you see the media freaking out. Oh, he's a bust. And it's like, no, dude. Reddick, Sweat, Brandon Graham, and Derek Barnett are all in front of him. So this is what we all knew going into the season, and I'm very excited about it, that we've got so much talent that you can allow Nolan Smith, to learn and get better here. And he's getting a few snaps here and there. Maybe he sees a couple more, but they will gradually bring him along. We talked about it. He's not Jalen Carter. He's not going to be thrown in the fire. Jalen Carter was the replacement for Hargrave. And, Smith is essentially down the road, the replacement for Reddick. So it is what it is there, but if you can get pressure, that is the key there. Now, top 3 here, looking at the passing game. We talked about it. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. A.J.'s got 11 catches, 108 yards, 9.8 yards per catch. No touchdowns yet, though. Had a couple called back, had some BS stuff happening, but this dude's going to get going. He's going to have himself a week. Then you talk about Devontae with those 11 catches, 178 yards, and he's got I think it was 16.2, I want to say, yards per catch. I'm trying to remember. But regardless, he's got 2 touchdowns in there. He is doing great so far. But I'll be real with you. Carlton Davis banged up. That's huge news for them. But this Isian kid, we talked about undrafted here. He's got 2 passes deflected. He's got 2 interceptions. Talked about him playing that nickel cornerback for the Bucs. They've got some versatile pieces there. He is a defensive back that can play some safety as well, but they've got him in there. So maybe one of our other guys, maybe Watkins, if he plays, maybe Olamide, maybe they use Britton Covey on offense. Maybe somebody steps it the hell up. Maybe Goddard works a little bit on Isian, but it's going to be intriguing. But you see Carlton Davis there. That's going to be huge for the Buccaneers. Is he going to play? Because if not, Zion McCollum will be called upon again. And that is Tristan McCollum, Eagles practice squad safety. That is his twin brother. So excited to see what happens there. Hopefully they're fully healthy. But Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, I think this is one of the more slept on secondaries. And look, I get it. They have struggled, and this is an area, you want to attack. But I still think that they are very underrated corners there. So going to be fun to watch this matchup here. But I think Brown and Smith will work their asses. Now, up next at number 2, let's just flip it. Let's go to the Bucs receivers, and boy, do they have some good ones. So most people will talk about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and rightfully so. They are good as hell. But Trey Palmer, man, I've been talking about him since before the draft. This kid has got some talent. They haven't used him as a returner yet, but hey, if they do, watch out. But this kid, he's already doing some things on offense as well, and I'm a big fan of Trey Palmer, but obviously, Mike Evans, he already has 12 catches, 237 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Godwin has 10 catches for 109 yards. So these guys, almost 20 yards per catch for Evans, over 10 for Chris Godwin there. So we're going to need Job and Goodrich to step it up here. We got Slay and Bradbury. Looks to be back here, thank God. But how are the Eagles going to play this? And I've told you my opinion here, how really depends on how they're lining up. But you have Goodrich in the nickel, or you have Bradbury in the nickel. You put Job outside. So I think you can see a little bit of Goodrich and Job here. But if they want to throw Goodrich into the fire here, see what he can do as the nickel, maybe he can be the guy. Okay, you saw we brought in some guys for tryouts. William Jackson, the former first rounder, was one of them. So we'll see this week. I think, this is a great test against guys like, Evans, Godwin, Palmer, and Godwin will line up in the slot. Evans can, Palmer will. So this is going to be a good test here, and we're going to see how these guys do. But at number 1, QB1 here, I think that, look, let's be real here. Actually, you know what? Let me go back for a second. Let me just say this. As much as they have good receivers, we've got Darius Slay and James Bradbury still, okay? Just want to point that out. And you've got 4 passes deflected so far this year for Slay. That pick 6 he had. Then you have James Bradbury in the one game had a nice pass deflection, but he's doing great. So don't get me wrong here. I think our guys can definitely stand the battle here with these very good receivers, but that's why it's one of my top matchups. Just wanted to clear that up. Now, at number 1, QB1, Jalen effing Hurts with their LB1, Devin effing White. And I've talked about it with our running backs, tight ends. Obviously, Devin White's going to be a big part of all of it because, well, he's their middle linebacker. But this dude, he's tied for the lead on his team with 14 tackles. He's got 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflected. But we all know who the hell Devin White is. We've talked about trying to trade for him. He said he was sorry for saying he wanted to be traded. He loves being a part of this defense, and you saw how talented it is, all the people we have looked at here. But our leader versus their leader. And look, Jalen Hurts, 40 completions, 363 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, 71.4 completion percentage, only 21 carries for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns, though. So we know Jalen Hurts, he can use his legs. He can do all kinds of things to kick your ass. So he doesn't have to be air yard, but this is going to be a great responsibility for Devin White here. We'll see how he does matched up with our QB1. But I think Hurts, it's time to break open in the pass game. Do your thing. Just watch out because, boy, do they have playmakers across the board, as you just saw there. But that is all I've got for you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you got anything from this, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you have any questions, you want to talk about something else, whatever the hell's on your mind, you can always comment down below. Appreciate you subscribing. Everything you're doing to support the channel. Cannot thank you enough. But I'll be back with the injury report at one point. And then later tonight, we'll be live for Fan Friday. So hoping to see your asses there. Excitement in the air. Getting ready for this game Monday. Tomorrow, you'll have the game status report. Because remember, everything's a day after because the Monday game. And then Sunday, practice squad elevation. So going to continue pumping out content. Anything happens, I'll try to make a video on that too. But if you need me, reach out. Doesn't have to be about the birds. Could be about life. Always try to be there for you guys as you are me. Truly love each and every one of you guys. I really, you guys have been reaching out, saying some things after yesterday. I love you. I truly do. You guys mean the world to me. And I'm going to continue no matter what happens with my health, where I end up, what is going on here. I'll make effing videos from the damn hospital, from wherever I got to be. I don't care. You guys know I will continue bringing you the best Eagles content available. But hope you're having yourselves a great Friday. Hopefully you're getting off work here soon, getting ready to rock and roll. A weekend full of not being stressed out and then starting Monday off with, of course, our heart attack games. But we're going to go whoop some ass. I see a 10-plus point win here. I know the Buccaneers are doing good. I'm not sleeping on them. I just showed you how good they are. I just think the Eagles are better, and it's time to get things clicking. We've had 11 days to figure this out. They try to, hurt a lot of our players. The NFL, throwing us in that short schedule, doing all that stuff. We know how they roll. Q, don't worry. We're coming. Still think we're winning the Super Bowl. Still believe we're building a dynasty. Let the media and fans get all worked up about absolutely nothing. And look, the practice, I know a lot of people haven't been watching the last few years, but this is, those injury reports, it's like this every year with Sirianni. He is very precautious with his players. He likes being healthy for the games. So just laugh at the people losing their minds because I guarantee you they're going to be the biggest fans ever after we win this game handily on Monday Night Football. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Hope to see you throughout the day. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!